Thank you so much for being with me. We're speaking with the Ladies of Paradise, Miss Jade Daniels and Harley Case. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about this latest project that you guys have. We have Lady J's working with indoor orchards, and they're releasing a special BLM Black Lives Matter blend. And this is in collaboration with the Last Prisoner Project, right?
Yeah, we're really, really excited. It's been really awesome. Basically, with any business, you have a pipeline of all the different businesses that make money off a product. And it's been really cool because basically from beginning to end, everyone has either donated things or been willing to give up their profits. And so we're able to donate so much more than we could ever if it was just us on our own. With the run, it's going to be around $20,000, which is really crazy. It'd have probably been 20% of that if it was just us on our own. We're really excited. We're partnering with, I think, 6 different dispensaries. There's a company called Groundworks, and they have one of the best dispensaries in Portland called Electric Lettuce and Sarah and Pharma. And then we're also partnering with Rogue Valley Cannabis, Eden, and Farm to Table. And we're very, very grateful because they're really the ones that are able to donate the most, because that's how wholesale works. It's really, really exciting.
Nice. And, you mentioned, coming together to make a bigger boom, as it's hard on your own to get some projects started. There's a lot of people in the cannabis industry that are kind of here to just make a quick flip and go. But obviously, it's apparent that you and the partners that you're working with genuinely care. They care about the Prisoner Project. Tell our audience a little bit about how each of you first came into contact with cannabis. How did the herb touch your life?
I actually, I was a big soccer player growing up and played pretty competitively, and I smoked weed for the first time when I was 16, and I was this isn't really for me. I'm playing soccer, and so I moved on and really didn't start back up again until my 20s. And then when I was 25, my fiance got asked to be an investor in Oregon, in some Oregon dispensaries, and so we moved out to Oregon, and I moved to Southern Oregon in 2015. And so that's when I was first really just not only thrown into cannabis world, but Southern Oregon is on another level. It's humble, it's just known as a mecca for growing cannabis. And so when I met up with Harley shortly after that, just to get together to shoot creatively, her boyfriend happened to be in the industry too. And that's just kind of the going trend down here in Southern Oregon. It's everyone's got summer jobs trimming weed and stuff like that. And a lot of our friends work at dispensaries or for distribution companies. And it's really just the way of life out here, honestly.
Yeah, it's really cool. I grew up in Southern Oregon, and so it was always this thing with the traditional market that everyone on the summer would go and trim weed for their friends. For me, I always smoked weed. I would smoke weed at the end of the day to wind down and help with just I have bad ADHD, so it helped me just kind of get into a more serene place. But my real love for it came from working with Jade and us really turning it into a way for us to support women and support our community. And that's really when it flourished, I feel, for both of us, when it became more than just the cannabis itself.
Well, that's really great to hear, and that actually is a great segue. So can you tell our audience what the core values is of Ladies of Paradise? There's a lot of people coming into the industry, but your company stands out. You've got this great imagery, these great branding. Sorry about the dog.
We love dogs.
You make such a splash in this industry. So what is it that what's the mission that you operate off of to give back to the industry?
I would say for us, it's authenticity, and us.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
we really feel the point of life is for us to be able to shine for who we are, and feel really comfortable and lift each other up, and feel you can be weird and you can be hot or ugly or you know what I mean? It's you don't have you can be anything and everything. And so that's kind of been our mission, is we accept all and everything, and we wanted to really create create like something that really felt like us being our authentic selves and like accepting other people for being their authentic selves as well. I mean, as you can tell, we like to have, you know, a good time. All of our Instagram posts are like disco balls and lime green and hot pink.
Right. I love it. So how does that tie into working with an organization like the Last Prisoner Project? How did you guys come together and say, you know what, this is what we want to support. This is who we're going to dedicate ourselves to over the next weeks, couple months. How did you determine the LPP was for you?
You know, with the whole movement that's going on right now, the Last Prisoner Project is the one that relates most to cannabis. And we really became familiarized with it last year when we did an event advocating for people who are incarcerated for cannabis. And we just, you know, this is like the organization to get people out of jail who have risked their lives and have like, you know, built this industry so that we can be profiting from it. And so we just feel like it's like our total, just not even obligation, because like we want to do it. Like it's just our way that we fit in and like that we feel is like the best organization to do what we hope to do.
Yeah, I would say too, like, you know, everyone who's in this industry has an obligation to like right the wrongs that have happened. And we really love the way that Last Prisoner Project kind of like hits all the different areas with it, with them helping with prison reform and changing the laws and helping people get out of jail, but then also with helping people after they get out of jail and then helping their kids with getting back on their feet. And it's just like, I really appreciate how well they have like tried to tackle the problem and not just tried to be like, oh, it's one thing, because as we're seeing through like the BLM movement, it's so much more than one thing. Like this is a huge thing that is affecting like endless parts of the colored communities. And it's just, yeah, it's incredibly important for cannabis companies, especially, I feel, to stand up and do kind of what's right.
Absolutely. We do have a moral responsibility and an obligation to help right the wrongs of the past. And especially when it comes to getting people out of prison that are in there for, you know, a couple pounds.
Even less than that, for a joint, you know, like there are people in jail for a joint. Yeah.
The event that we did, we like specifically gave money to like specific people that had been in jail. And it was insane because this guy literally was a homeless guy who was like selling these joints for another person, and it literally was like 1.5 joints that he had on him, and he's spending his life in jail, like no parole, nothing. And it's just like, that is so crazy. That's like 1/10 of what I have on me like any given day since I was 16 years old, you know?
And you made a good point about when people get out of prison, they still need help. The journey is not over there. You know, how are they going to get a job as a, you know, an ex-convicted felon, you know, and their families, how can their families get back on their feet when their dad or their mother has been away for years and years and years? So thank you for working with that organization. They're a great organization, and I appreciate that. Now, when it comes to the actual project itself, you know, let's talk about the joints. Let's talk about the cannabis. Can you tell our audience a little bit about the cultivator and some of the practices that they utilize?
Well, actually, Indoor Orchards is like a brand new company for us. We've never worked with them before. So I actually don't know very much about their practices at all. Do you, Jake?
I do, yeah. So they grow all hydroponically indoors, and they're all about just super clean growing. The hydroponic method is, you know, has been done for years, but like they've really mastered it and are really good at their craft. And then the flower that was provided to us, and the whole reason it came about was that, you know, our brand is based off of collaborations. We're a marketing company. We partner with cannabis farms to produce Lady J's. And so, you know, a lot of different brands partner with us for recognition, just to work together, you know, to get rid of their flower for whatever reason. And so they came to our distributor and said, hey, we've got this flower. We want to work with them. You know, what should we do? And then along with our producer, distributor, farmers market, and us, the idea came to just do a whole donation rather than making money off of this. And so, I mean, it's really just blossomed into such a beautiful, beautiful, really large collaboration. Like Electric Lettuce and Sarah and Groundworks, Groundworks, the parent company, coming on board I mean, it's just so awesome. Like, that's huge for us because we were just like wanting to do something, just something, you know, and like we're a very small company. And so to be able to give, you know, close to, and we don't even know yet because we'll see after it's almost done being produced, but to anticipate somewhere around $20,000 going to an organization like coming from us is just like, we're just so happy for everybody involved because we could never do this on our own.
Yeah, we are literally so grateful. Like Groundworks, like when you come to Oregon, Electric Lettuce is like this amazing, cool 70s dispensary, and they have them everywhere. And like my first meeting with them, I was so nervous, and I was like, oh my God, they're super excited. They're coming in on this. Like, this is such a win for us.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. Yeah. And you mentioned at the beginning, you know, where people in Oregon can go to find this, but you know, as we know, not yet, cannabis can't cross state lines. So how can people walk the walk? You know, a lot of people say, oh, you can do this, but what are people outside of the state of Oregon? How can they actively help support the cause?
You can actually like donate specifically to the Last Prisoner Project. And something that we're working with right now is Last Prisoner Project has this thing where you can, like, basically at all the dispensaries, the majority of them, there will be like an additional donation page. And so I've been actually thinking about for when we launch this, doing something like if you buy a pack of Lady J's of our CBD and CBG, which you can purchase online, you can like add an additional donation there that will go straight to Last Prisoner Project, or you can donate straight from their website as well.
Last month, we did another Black Lives Matter donation to Don't Shoot PDX, which is a local organization where you could buy our online joints to give to them. So that really helped a lot for people outside. But for this specific endeavor, I would just say, I don't know, share what we're doing. Maybe if people in your state, you know, could do something similar, just post more about find out, follow the Last Prisoner Project, see what they're about. Push for more equality in cannabis in your state. If your state's not legal, like, I'm sorry, but we're all rooting for national legalization. But yeah, I would just say exposure and then just like following along and staying tuned for like the next thing that we do, because we are always trying to do stuff like this and really get back to our community. That's what we're all about. So
I have something to say too. Speaking to like people that actually like own cannabis companies also, like it is really hard to like make money in this industry 100%. And so making the decision to be like, okay, I'm going to take all my earnings from this and give it to this is like difficult, but like literally trying to think outside the box on how you're like, oh, I already make my money this way. Let's add an additional SKU. Let's add an additional thing. Like you don't have to not make money off your products. You can like think outside the box and add something new to be able to donate with.
Absolutely. And, you know, even a small monetary donation, $10 a month, really does make a difference, you know, in the long run, whether it's, you know, for a nonprofit or you're helping to cover someone's funeral costs. You know, it really does, it proves that you've shown up. You know, you have gone the extra mile. And so for people that want to follow you, that want to stay in the loop, how can they get in touch?
Our Instagram is @Ladies of Paradise, and then Lady J's is @SmokeLadyJ's. And then also we have like our website, which is Shop Lady J's and ladiesofparadise.com.
Great. And so when does this collab drop?
On the 16th of August is when they'll be ready.
Okay, awesome. Any last words from either one of you? Jay, do you have anything else you want to say to the audience?
I would just say also that we're doing a series of vendor days, which we didn't mention, starting on the 16th. So Harley and Keisha will be running those up in Portland. And you can just follow along at Smoke Lady J's to stay tuned, or, you know, for the times and stuff. And then I will be doing the Southern Oregon vendor days at Rogue Valley Cannabis, and that will be that whole week, so starting August 16th for a whole week.
So we'll be like there in person, like either inside the location or outside the location.
Okay. And is COVID the safety regulations enforced? Bring your mask?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for speaking with me. It was a pleasure to meet you both. I feel like, you know, I've heard of you guys for a while now, and I'm very thankful to have met you both. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. We're really grateful to be on here and for us to have met you as well.
Spread the word.
All right. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much.